Hey everyone, it's James, June 14th, about 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC USD on the Bitfinex exchange. Now, the video is not investment advice. The video is done for only educational purposes. I talked about last night, or in yesterday's video, how there's a lot of selling pressure in the market. Last night, I went ahead and took a trade, and so did my subs as well. Some actually got a little bit deeper of a position than I did, but right here in this area, I could see what was forming on Bitcoin, and based on my other line set, I was able to determine that that was a good buy area. It's panned out well. I do think that we are in the midst of a Guppy rally, a relief rally is what they're called, but I call them Guppy rallies because big money lures in small money and then just hammers them. Now, understand this, that these moves are getting smaller and smaller, and they're requiring more time and also producing more volatility. Look at the move out of here. Look at the whipping back and forth out of here. And then let's start looking at these other moves. Look at this. Boom, just immediate skyrocket up. Even this move, boom, skyrocket back up, like so, right? Boom, skyrocket up. And then the same thing, right here. Boom, skyrocket up. Not a lot of volatility, very fast, rapid movement. It turned into literally a buying frenzy. And if you've been trading Bitcoin, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When those big bars formed, people went nuts. Absolutely nuts, and prices kept pushing. Well, guess what? These moves are now getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Remember, if you've been watching my videos, I've been talking about two things: the series of smaller arches, which is just showing the proof that Bitcoin is taking longer and longer to make these moves. The moves are becoming more muted, meaning not as many participants are participating in these rallies. And the same thing to the downside as well. We're seeing volume significantly dwindle from the 12 billion range all the way down into the low fours now. And we've been staying in that range ever since this area. So there's been really no pickup like we've seen in the previous times. Like when we got down to here, we started getting into like the mid threes or so, and then boom, we all 9 billion all the way up to about 12 billion during this run. And even during these small moves, we were getting all the way into 8s, 9s, and so forth, all the way back into here. Now all of a sudden we're making moves and we're seeing less and less volume. And during every pop, the volume's kind of popping up, and then it's just immediately dwindling down. So it's not a good sign for this market. And I'm going to call this a Guppy rally because I do not believe this is the bottom. I do not believe we are going to see 9,990. Matter of fact, I do not believe we're going to break above this, which is about 7,800. If we do break above 7,800, I will change my analysis as us producing a bottom here and a potential uptrend to maybe test this 9,990 area. But to me, that's fantasy land right here. If price is not unable to break above 7,800, that's just all, this is like where the rainbows and unicorn and John McAfee live. So right now, all I consider this is a Guppy rally. So yes, there's more than likely more upside from here. I talked about that in my prior videos. So there's going to be wiggles. There will be Guppy rallies. That's exactly what we're experiencing. That's exactly what this was. We could see how it fizzled out. If we start to go a little more horizontal here, then we obviously know exactly what's happening. But again, we're seeing this big bar that just pops out of nowhere. In this case, these bars are getting significantly smaller. This was only like less than a $300 bar. So these bars are gonna, and this one was, let's see real quick, almost a $400 bar. So the bars are getting much smaller and smaller and smaller. The moves are getting more and more muted. The volatility is also increasing, and it's taking longer for these moves to unfold. Meaning like we're going more horizontal than we are vertical, as we saw in the previous runs to the upside. So keep all that in mind, right? It's just, there's a lot of things that are working against Bitcoin at this level. Does it mean it's the end of the market? No. It just means, yet once again, as I've been explaining in every single video, these moves are going to take time. It's going to be, that time element is going to beat out so many traders. It's going to be crazy. And so many traders, and it might have already beaten you out. But you need to understand, Bitcoin is trying to work itself into what I believe is normalization of price, which requires that price move just about to a horizontal plane, and that is going to include a lot of volatility and a lot of sideways movement and the struggle to make smaller gains than what everyone is used to. Now we're struggling. If you're able to buy here, get whipped and tossed around here, maybe you're making 5-6%, you know? It's not as explosive of a move that we were seeing back in here, where all of a sudden Bitcoin's jumping 10, 20, 30%, sometimes, you know, not sometimes more, but like somewhere around those ranges, right? We're starting to see these bigger figures pop up, and now we're like struggling and fighting for like just a few percent, and it's like this gigantic tug of war between buyers and sellers. And it's going to anger a lot of people, and not a lot of people are going to talk about the time element. I don't know anyone that does. I don't get to spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos or reading articles, but the thing is that this is going to require time. I've shown everybody in this series of arches. I've said it over and over and over again. And if you're a subscriber, you're probably like, man, why do you keep repeating yourself? Because I promise you that the day I stop, everyone's going to forget. I promise you that. But anyways, so that's where we're going. We'll see what happens. If we clear about 7,800, that's going to be a positive sign for this market. I do not want to talk about a bear market in Bitcoin. I want to see a bull market. Like, trust me, like I don't enjoy talking about the price selling off and the demise of this market. But that's the zone to watch for, 7,800. If we come back down and blow through 6107, that's the current bottom here. If we blow through that bottom, then I definitely believe we're going to slice through 6,000. As of now, I think that this little rally, this little Guppy rally that's going to unfold, I think that's lining us up to slice through 6,000, just like Litecoin set a new low for the year, okay? Another thing I want to talk about is because of the time element, what's going to happen is that a lot of traders will be beat off to the side. And if this turns into an accumulation phase, this normalization phase turns into accumulation, especially after the bubble phase, okay? And I'll explain it all as I go along, but bubble, pop, normalization, accumulation by bigger money. If this is happening, okay, then it's a good sign that the moves are getting stretched to the right. Because as it takes longer and longer and longer for price to move up, the retail traders are going to start to leave the trading space. And I've seen it. I've seen tons of comments, just people just like, they're just giving up on Bitcoin and some of the other cryptos as well due to what's happening in the price action and how hard it's getting versus how, you know, how easy it used to be to capture these big swings. I mean, if you timed it right, you made some really good money really fast. Now it's like you're fighting like tooth and nail just to get these gains in your portfolio. So this time element, as it beats out the retail traders, it puts them all off on the side over here, right? And everyone's pissed off about the market, and they're like, oh, I hate Bitcoin, you know, like you can see the anger, negativity, the bearish sentiment, blah, blah, blah. And there's accumulation, and then as when one day in the future, boom, we get this pop in price. And everyone over here is like, oh, they're like denying it, and price just keeps going up and going up and going up. And then what happens is they jump back in, and that's what allows the bubble market to go through the phase of normalization all the way back to retesting the top and exceeding that top. So sentiment is like a pendulum that has to be swung from one side to the other side, between bullish and bearish. And as we get severely bearish, we're going to swing back to severely bullish, and we'll swing in between, you know, but more than likely we're going to swing back and forth. This happens in all markets, and that's what I could see happening here if we start to base out and move more horizontally. So I've talked about this in every single video that just about ever since I've been talking about this, that if we move horizontal, I do look at it as more bullish than bearish. I did say if we held the uptrend line, we broke the uptrend line, we're still above 6,000, so we still have the low intact. If this happens, we hold out, go more horizontal, I'll take it as bullish price action, as more than likely it's a phase of accumulation, the normalization of the market, and eventually there will be a bigger pop in in the long run. Now, of course, if you're going to try to play that, you obviously want to mitigate your risk using stops and other things, but I just wanted to kind of flesh that out and put that out there for everybody so you understand, like, I'm not just bearish on this market. It's not what it's about. It's just trying to look at what's happening right here locally in Bitcoin. Ever since this 6,000 bottom, this big intervention in this market, this is the new market. And as of now, we are seeing a ton of selling pressure. Yes, we're going to see the wiggles, but the wiggles are becoming smaller. And that is also a red flag in of itself. So again, I hope everybody likes the content. I hope everybody understands the message that I'm conveying and what I'm trying to tell everyone here. You know, if you do enjoy the content, you like the videos, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, depending on what social media platform you're on. I definitely thank you for your time. I thank you for your support. You know, I know some of these videos get a little long, like this video is 10 minutes here, but I'm doing it to thoroughly explain everything. And I know sometimes I can repeat myself, but I really need to like hammer some of these points home. And that's why I repeat myself on these videos, is so that everybody understands exactly where I'm coming from, right? I'm not on here to predict exact price levels, to give you trade entries or anything like that. This is just like a bigger picture overview of what's happening in this market and where I think the future is of the market, whether it's up or down. Right now, you know, I'm definitely inclined to down unless we break some specific zones like I give everybody. But, you know, that's the reason behind it. If you want something a little like more in depth, you want something straight to the point, like, hey, these are the prices to enter into, these are the targets to sell at, these are the stops, and so forth for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, I do have a subscription service. It's a monthly fee. There's no contracts. It's, you know, it's cheap. It's like $24.99 a month. But I do provide, you know, exact entries and exits for Bitcoin and various other cryptocurrencies as well, stocks, commodities, and Forex. I don't really trade Forex, but it goes hand in hand with the stocks and commodities in many cases, so I do have to pay attention to those pairs and even just the normal indexes. But if you want something like that, you can check out my site, geometriccharts.com. And if you've not joined the Slack channel, that's absolutely free to anybody. It's cryptocurrency oriented. Everyone's extremely friendly. It's just a nice community to be a part of. You can go to my site, geometriccharts.com. At the bottom, the links to my social media accounts and the link to the Slack channel. Just click on either one of them and you'll go where you need to go. So other than that, everybody, thank you for your time, your support. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I hope that you're getting, you know, the information you need to understand what's happening in this market. And I try to lay everything out as level-headed as possible. No hype. I know I joke around, I'm facetious a lot, but you know, it's just, I try to like lighten up the mood on something that's where I know that I'm talking not more like monotone in a sense, but just more level-headed to where I'm not blowing smoke up your rear like I see a lot of people do to attract subscribers and viewers and so forth. And that's why my count is a little lower, is because I do not do that stuff. But anyways, I hope you're finding value in it. If you are, please like, subscribe, follow. If you listen this long, I really appreciate it, all right? Have a great night or great day depending on where you are.